had the lotto. I'm coming through like 100 doing this 1 or 2s. You don't know if the smoke from the gun I told, from the blunt I blew. Got them sick as the flu. But this she be humming too. Got your chicken in here and she think it's the tension in here when the enemy near. What the you wanna do? I'm a G.
Yo, what is popping? What is the deal? Welcome to the No Pick Show with no handhold. I'm with fast on emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you haven't already. I'm your host with the most cheddar Chad. Shout out to my dog Michael Morgan in the building with the 199. Appreciate you, bro. Mike, let me know when you get that package. You hear me? Appreciate you, bro. E, what's happening with your homie? Trey, what's the deal? What's popping? Josh Murdoch, what's happening? What's happening, bro? My dog most hated in the building. What's happening, fellas? Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Much appreciation to y'all. Jay Haley, I see you in here. What's happening, man? Yo, so something weird going on, y'all. So to me, something weird is happening. Something weird is happening. I can't quite put my finger on it, pause, but something weird is happening. So if you saw the member episode, you know that, certain things are happening around. And shout out to E-Dog. He just happened to mention it. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Jeremy in the building as well. If y'all saw the members episode, like I mentioned before, the Pelicans are still kind of, looking to make additions in the wing area. Of course, right on the heels of that episode, Caleb Houston was announced as a person who will have a camp invitation, an opportunity to compete for that quote unquote final roster spot. To me, Nola, what's the deal, bro? To me, it's kind of weird. And this is why I say it's kind of weird, because with Kobe Buffkin, Caleb Houston, and Koloko, of course, there's all of those are guys who are kind of on the outside of the NBA looking at. What up, Jordan? All of those guys are guys who are on the outside of the NBA looking at. But the reason it get a little weird to me is because I'm like, well, one could argue that all of those guys should probably make the team. Like on the real, one could argue that, hey, you could really use Caleb Houston's shooting. Shout out to my dog L in the building, man. Whoa, what's up with your L, bro?
Boy, what's good, though?
My bad, I about to say you was muted. Shout out to my homie Zeke with the gift, man. Appreciate you, Zeke. Appreciate you, my dog. Shout out to E, man. Look, one of y'all just got blessed. Brandon Clark, what's happening with your homie? One of y'all just got blessed early. So I was talking about some of the guys, and me and you spoke about this prior to the show. Talking about some of these guys on the roster, and it's like, well, one could say that all of the camp invitations as it pertains to Kobe Buffkin, Koloko, Caleb Houston, one could say that all those guys probably could make the roster, because you need Kobe Buffkin shooting potentially. You may need Caleb Houston shooting, even though he's never been much of a volume shooter. You can potentially use it. Oh, shout out to Most Hated. Most Hated got the gift, man. Shout out to Most Hated. Shout out to Zeke again for that gift, man. Lonnie in the building. What's happening, bro? Shout out to Lonnie. Like,
I just checked. We got the 500, though.
Drew was at it. Oh, you got to the 500? Oh,
we
look.
got to the 500, man.
Man, I wish we had a hold on. Do we got one of them? Where is that? Hold on, son. No, I got to wait. Hold up. So we got to the 500 mark. Hey. Shout out to my dog Elvin. Just hit 500 subscribers. Look, if you haven't subscribed at this point for some reason, maybe you just forgot, because sometimes that happens. Make sure you go subscribe, hit that bell notification as well. We got a lot of great people joining this media space, and man, much love to everybody doing their thing. So to me, bro, I just think something is afoot. Shout out to homie Brian Ross. Something is afoot here, bro, because I mentioned before their interest in wings. I haven't heard anything about them having major connections to any particular bigs necessarily. Koloko being first. I mean, shout out to Louisiana girl. She blessed our game with the Precious Achua connection and a couple other people, but Koloko would probably be the only big that I've heard them actually register some form of interest in. And we'll talk about Ben Mathurin soon. But what do you make of these, I guess, camp invitations to Caleb Houston, to Christian Koloko, to Kobe Buffkin? I got to mention last offseason, you had guys like Jarvis Springer who were invited, a couple other people, but you can look at them and see, okay, there's no where for you on the team. But what do you make of these invitations? Or am I reading too much into it?
No. The tough part is kind of like, it all seems like players that they would like, right? Like ideally, they look like players that have some form of a fit on the team. So again, unless you planning on making room, right? Like unless you planning on making appreciate it, dog, for sure, always. Unless you plan on making some room for some of these guys, and by room that means again we're talking about the wing position, right? And typically you see teams start to turn over the roster in these types of ways. You saw again it happens over the course of some seasons, right? You saw PV brought in early, and the reason I use PV first because that's around like this level, like second round talent. You see Pierre come in, and you see Bryce last year get an opportunity. So again, you don't know what this roster is going to look like beyond. I would say beyond next season, but like any day now, you really never know who could and couldn't be available, because everybody's being made available. And when you're a 26 win team, that's kind of the way that it has to be. So it seems as if they've figured out the level of talent, at least on the roster and some of the positions of need. And right now, it seems as if the cost for like maybe higher costing players are different. Man, appreciate y'all, dog, for sure.
Shout out to London. Shout out to everybody
Yeah,
in the chat that
100,
ran
bro.
that up, man. Shout out to all y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Y'all was fantastic. But it just basically seemed to me like they have a better idea of where the roster stands now. And even if you have to package, let's say hypothetically, you got to package a couple players to go get a big name player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still got to fill your roster. Maybe you have other players that fits the need that might be able to play and support the roster just as well as some of the guys who are on there. So I think every player that they're bringing in right now was a legitimate threat. And it's not like they're a threat to be like, starters and no shit like that, but like rotational pieces, yeah, absolutely.
And to me, that's the most bizarre thing, because I would imagine if you're bringing in these people, and realistically, I know Koloko doesn't have a lot of film, but Koloko fits a need of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Houston in theory fits a need. Kobe Buffkin in theory fits a need, and you have a couple guys on the roster that don't necessarily address those needs, but they have guaranteed roster spots. So in my mind, I'm like, well, do you plan on consolidating?
Yeah.
And then when do you plan on consolidating? Because as it currently stands, you got one roster spot available, right? You're looking to move off from Hawkins potentially. At the most, you're looking at maybe 2 roster spots. If you can just dump Hawkins without taking back any salary, and we'll speak about AJ Johnson when we get to the Ben Mathurin segment. But if you are able to just dump Hawkins and create that additional roster spot, and you bring a guy in, okay, now you back down to one roster spot.
Yeah.
So it's like, and of course, these are non-guaranteed contracts that these guys are ultimately competing for. But I'm just like, much like with the Ben Mathurin thing, even if you were to go sign Ben Mathurin tomorrow, let's say he's like, look, I'll take $8 million. I'm coming sign with you tomorrow. It's like, well, damn, where do you play him? But,
yes.
And that's kind of like, I know we all were like, oh, cool, Caleb Houston, he's a guy that has some experience in Mosley's system, and things of that nature. But it's like, still, okay, you brought him in. That's that he makes the roster. Whose minutes is he taking? So that's where the question really lies. Like, even to look at some of Caleb Houston's what I want to say, his numbers since he's been in the league. 4-year guy. This would be his 5th year. He was really
not a lot of volume on anything.
Yeah, not a lot of volume. Played in 51 games rookie year. Shot 33% on 2 attempts. Shot 30.
No, I was about to say he consistently shoots it relatively well. Like
consistently shoots it well. It's just not a lot of volume.
No,
right? Basically, if you're just going by these numbers, he would be just a catch and shoot, quote unquote 3-and-D guy, right? Yeah. May get minutes, may not get minutes, pretty much, right?
Similar to Hawkins, except he can actually shoot the 3 too.
Yeah, like he could actually shoot. So he's like Hawk, like good size for a wing, 6'8". So I mean, why are you bringing him in? You got a lot of guys that need run. including Micah Peavy. I think pretty much we know Pierre is going to be in Kenner, but you got Bryce. Like you got a lot of guys that like your rotation is already penciled in. Like you got a lot of guys that are just penciled into the rotation. So guys like Caleb, guys like Koloko, guys like Kobe Buffkin. I don't understand even bringing them in. I'm happy that you're doing your due diligence, but I don't understand bringing them in at this juncture unless there still was some plan to consolidate somehow at some point.
Must be, because if you think of what was good about you, Sniper, bro, if you think about it, like, why would you have interest in a player like Spencer Jones, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Or any wing.
Any wing specifically. It's just kind of any wing that you bring in. You have to consider, again, if you just look at the rotation right now, right? Herb, Bay, you know those two are playing no matter, regardless of how good or bad they play. Those two are 100% gonna play. Trey is a wing, gonna play. Zion wing position, gonna play. So like after that, now and then Bryce made a case last year that he deserves some rotational minutes, and PV even had moments. So it's like,
and you invested a draft pick and gave him a guaranteed deal. So you got to give him some run.
So it's just kind of like, and let's say hypothetically, right, you make these guys fight it out for that last roster spot, right? Because maybe last year when you did camp and you brought in, you know, the Jared Springer, no disrespect to Jared Springer, but like, you knew he wasn't making the roster. Maybe everybody knew those players were like tough-nosed, hard defensive players,
just to make guys work in camp.
Just to make guys work. Maybe this time around, you're kind of like, look, we want to bring in some actual NBA talent to kind of make these guys, make it more competitive. That, you know, instead of just bringing like lower level talent, maybe you just raise the level. And if somebody just shines, then maybe you give them that last roster spot, or maybe you make somebody expendable, or somewhere down the line when you do make a move, you have, you know, personal experience with these players, and you maybe get them on the you know, a little further down the line if you don't sign them. But man, if these dudes, because if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to finalize your roster until opening day. So if they play in preseason and look better than some and get some opportunity and look better than some of your players in preseason, that's when you really gonna have some questions.
Out to everybody to be able to look. We got 21 likes, man. Let's get it up to at least 45 likes. We got 52 people in the building. I know the show a little early, but shout out to everybody talking for life. What's happening? Hope everything well with you. Hope everybody had a great weekend, man. Hope everybody in the chat is doing well. Let's hit that like button, get it up to, let's do 45, 50 likes. But so that's the thing that's kind of perplexing to me, because I'm like, I've already made it known that I think some people are more replaceable than others, right? So if I'm just talking about skill sets, like, I think you made a great point where some of these guys ain't in camp to like, oh, we're gonna make you work hard at this camp. They're gonna defend you and push you. Like, no, these guys are score first players, like with no resistance on the other end for the most part, with the exception of like Koloko. But I'm like, why would you
think Kobe Buffkin look at Jeremiah Fears nervous? Like,
that's why. Oh, even then, I'm kind of like, well, you kind of need, and that's my biggest question. Like, well, you need what Kobe Buffkin and Caleb Houston and Koloko do. You need all three of these. You need their skill sets, or at least their perceived skill sets. So I'm like, well, what sense does this make? Because like what's the move that I'm not seeing? Well, what up with you, Cullen? What's the move that I'm not seeing? Even with like Ben Mathurin, for example, and we'll transition to Ben Mathurin here, I guess. You know, I've been told that, you know, they've recently had some newer talks and engagement with Ben Mathurin's representation. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, because it seems like every time I say something like, nah, that's a lie. So I don't know. I like, based on who told me this, I believe it. Right? They've had some recent conversation with Ben Mathurin's representation. We already know about the Jordan Hawkins thing that came. They've been trying to move Jordan Hawkins since the offseason, really since last season, to create some of that roster space and a spot potentially. With the AJ Johnson thing, Well, what up with your LP? With the AJ Johnson thing, I think well, there's some familiarity there with Troy Weaver. You know, AJ Johnson was in Washington with Troy Weaver. Really peculiar guy, like type player, very peculiar. Reminds me a lot of Bones Highland for some reason. Just really rangy athlete, really peculiar type guy. But he made about $4 million less than Jordan Hawkins. Let's just say $3.5 million less than Jordan Hawkins. So in theory, if you want to create a roster spot, right? Because I've been told that the Pelicans, someone in Memphis had told me that the Pelicans were potentially looking for a third team. That third team might be the team that takes on whatever they get back in exchange for Jordan Hawkins. So, well, shout out to the home Louisiana girl. What's the deal? What's the deal, homie? Talking about the Louisiana girl. So potentially along the lines of, okay, Jordan Hawkins for, let's say, AJ, and worst case scenario, if you don't find a third team, this is wave and stretching, right? Wave and stretching would hit you for about $1 million over the next 3 seasons because he's only guaranteed $3 million. You would create nearly the full MLE, which is about you would create about $14 million. I don't think you offering Ben Mathurin that $14 million. I think you probably offering him something closer to 11, 12, right? 11, 12. You still give yourself some breathing room and a roster spot in case you wanted to carry one of those guys on the official roster going into the season. If I had to bet today, I think it would be Koloko. I had to bet
that made the roster.
Yeah, who made the roster? I think it would be Koloko, just based on need. I haven't really seen them necessarily linked to many other bigs, so I think it would be Koloko. I think Houston, I would give him a bit of the edge due to his time on task in Mosley's system, and I probably would put Kobe Buffkin on the outside looking in just until you figure out what's going to happen with the DeJounte Murray situation, because you got a gluttony of guards right now as well. But so what's your thoughts on AJ Johnson potentially? Because I mean, I guess there's a world where he joins the team and you have about $10 million in one roster spot, 11 million in one roster spot, and you like, all right, we're giving this final roster spot to Ben Mathurin, but I don't know where he plays.
I don't think AJ plays, to be honest. As we was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if the Pelicans would waive and stretch anybody or buy out anybody or anything. Like, I don't see any of those. Not saying that they won't or can't. I don't want to say can't. I just don't know if they'll think about it, that, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're gonna get this guy, waive and stretch this guy, and then we'll have this. I just don't know if they're thinking that many moves ahead, as opposed to like, we'll take him, we'll have the money, and then we'll offer it to Ben, and then, you know, call it until something else happens. But as far as AJ goes, I'm not expecting much of anything, to be honest. Like, and I know that's probably
from AJ the player, or like
AJ the player. No, okay. Like AJ the player per se. And even as far as like AJ to move, the only reason I even consider like the AJ to move is because, like, anything from AJ to move is because I don't know if they'll actually, like, if they were able to come down a little bit. Let's say they were able to make the AJ for Hawkins deal, and then you did free up a little bit of that money. Let's say they offered that money to Ben Mathurin, and he was like, no. Then I think they would just move off of, you know what I mean? I think they would just kind of move on to the next thing. I don't think they'll say, okay, well, let me see about removing AJ to create another roster spot and more space. I think they'll just move.
Just so I understand what you just said, like, so if they traded for AJ and they created, like, let's just say 11, and they was like, yo, Ben, what up? And he was like, nah, I want more than that. Yo, I'm cool. And he's like, all right. You think they would just like carry the roster as is and just say, fuck it?
I think they will go find someone else to take the money. Like, I think they would search for somebody else to take the money or something like that. Or, you know, maybe you see, I don't know how it will work as far as how much cap space you can have, but like maybe they just like, all right, we'll just bring in Koloko, or, you know what I mean? Something like that. If now we just have another spot, but I don't think they would say, let me now waive and stretch AJ to create the next $3 million or whatever it would be to go and sign Ben Mathurin and give him the extra bit of money that he needs. I don't know if they do it.
To me, it would be weird because it's like, then why do the AJ trade at all? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
you would have to do it off like you would have to do it off the dump to me. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Well, the reason why I think they would at least have to either send them to a third team or consider waiving them is because, like, you got $8 million. Anyone that's available outside of Ben and Kuminga, they would just take 7 million right now, and you could just So even I think the additional 3 million don't really help you for what's out here, right? I think you would almost have to turn it into nearly the full MLE unless you just really like AJ Johnson, which I mean, I guess it's possible, but I mean, but he's a guy to me that if you brought him in, he gonna spend some time in the G League as well because he don't look like ready, So it's interesting. I ultimately think if they did bring in AJ, they would be looking to cut him. Because
it would be similar to like that Dale and Terry move they made. They
just took the hit.
Back Dale and Terry, let him go, and then sign Bryce to the deal.
Because ultimately, you really, unless you doing someone a favor, maybe Troy Weaver friends with Kanye West. AJ Johnson went to the Donda High School. Troy might be cool with Kanye.
But that's my point. I'm just kind of like, unless they did it out the gate.
One thing, and shout out to Louise Angel because she just reminded me of this. Now, AJ's representation is the same as Zion and Derrick Queen and Ben Mathurin's, ironically.
Yeah.
So there's some relationship there between the agencies and all of these people involved. So I mean, I think if you were, an agent wouldn't take kindly to his player being waived, I'm sure. But even then, it's like you would have to tell me that your client willing to take this cool little 10 I got for him.
That might be the now I can see that. Like, look, I'll bring your guy on and give him an opportunity at some point down the line to compete for a spot or whatever. But that other dude, I got for you is 11.
And even then, it's kind of like,
why would the Clippers just not sign you back for the 11?
See,
that's the leverage right there. That's the leverage play right there.
And that's why, to me, it kind of gets to the point where you got to create some roster spots. Cause that's why I really think, to me, the ideal move would be like, look, I'm out to package DeJounte and one other. I'm gonna just get some salary. I'm about to make the salary go and just go get Sabonis. I'm consolidating. I'm addressing a position of need. If hypothetically speaking, if it was like Herb and DeJounte, like, to me, value-wise, they're about the same. Like really, you might be winning that trade going away, truthfully. But let's just
get Sabonis.
Yeah, to go get Sabonis because it addresses the rebound, and it consolidates. Now you got 2 less perimeter players you have to play. You can bring in Ben if you want to, and you would still have a roster spot. Yeah, you still can do what you was going to do with Hawkins, and you could bring in, whoever, Kalogo, whoever you was going to bring in, Houston, what have you.
And you turn Herb 4 years of 20 or whatever many years he got left into only you have the 1 year of Sabonis expiring because he got 1 year left after this year. So like you're not hooked for the long-term money as well if you were to do that.
Shout out to everybody sending their questions. By you, Snipe, I see your question. Ryan made a good point too with Ben taking that qualifying offer. I think that might be one of his better options right now. I know people want that security, but for him, that might be one of the better options because he ain't coming off the season that, to me, coming off a better season than Peyton Watson. But, for him, I think that might be one of the better options. But, so just looking at like if he signed outright and the Clippers just like, well, we not matching, don't worry about it, bro. Do what you gonna do.
Yeah.
And you were just like, sure, shit, all right. Nah, I'll give you a 2-year deal, maybe. Like, you know what I'm saying? With an option, you get a player option next year, a team option next year. If you take this here, and then next year, once my money a little more straight, I'll deal with you next year, and you're gonna have an opportunity to get some run and earn yourself some money. Like everybody who come to the Pelicans who get an opportunity, they always earn themselves some money. Like Najee Marshall, Sadiq Bey, Julius Randle, anybody that comes to the Pelicans and gets a run, they earn themselves an opportunity.
Because you get opportunity to show what you could do. That's what you're gonna get.
So shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Let me see where the likes is at right now. Cause I wanted to ask you, who do you think is safe on this roster? Oh, we only got 30 likes, man. Let's hit that like button. Hit that like button. We only got 30 likes. Let's make sure we smash the like button. Let's get the likes up to at least 45, 50. So, who do you think is safe currently?
For
just
safe
based on the
like,
roster, we know.
For this year or like in the like long-term safe? Like, let's say 2 years out safe.
Let's say the back end of the roster, right? Like you got Micah Peavy, who you just drafted, gave him a guaranteed contract. Bryce McGowan's, Carlo, you just picked up his option. Pierre, you drafted. Hawk, we already kind of know what the deal was with Hawk, but let's just throw Hawk in there. And I'm trying to think who would else be near the bottom of that roster.
The back end of the roster.
Who's a threat not to get no run.
Carlo. I don't think
not even no run, like a threat to be like, all right, look, I got to consolidate. You got to go on about your business.
The only two I think are like truly safe would be Bryce, because Bryce was theirs, and Peavy because Peavy was theirs. Carlo, for all of the possibilities with Carlo got a team option for next year as well. It's not like he's on some guaranteed deal or something like that. And when we were going through the roster the other day, right, once we got to 10, Carlo was the odd man out. So like, let's say you got Koloko, right? Let's say you signed Koloko. Would that make Carlo even more expendable? I know they're two different players, but then you start looking at what you need when you start playing, and then it's kind of like, oh, shit, I don't like, you know what I mean? So now Carlo becomes a little. It
certainly could. It certainly could.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that. Like Hawkins is obviously expendable.
Yeah,
Pierre is theirs, but Pierre still has to prove. I think Pierre got a year. I think he's got a year at least. You know what I mean? I don't think you'll see anything happen with him like right now. But as far as like the only ones that I think are truly safe, Bryce and Peavy. Other than that, I think anything beyond the 10 men that we talked about, other than Bryce and Peavy, maybe, I think everything is up in the air. And even some of the ones in that top 10 rotation, not guaranteed as well. Now, maybe not for some of the people we're talking about, but I think, and even ahead of Peavy, I think McGowan's is more safe than Peavy, I would say. But I would say it's those two.
And see, that's to me. Now, shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the bell notification as well. To me, that's more the frustrating part, right? Because I'm kind of thinking about it, like zooming out. And look, just because it's like Summer League, just because motherfucker get invited to camp, that don't mean you're gonna earn a spot. Same thing with Summer League, but it's like just because those guys don't earn. Oh, thank you, Shaqzilla. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for the 10 Jews. Shout out to the homie Shaqzilla. Appreciate you, fam. Like that's the thing too. I'm like, well, just because a motherfucker not gonna make the squad, that don't mean you don't need to make additions to the roster.
Yeah.
And when you talk about that top 10, again, to me, Caleb Houston's skill set you need, Christian Koloko's skill set you need. Kobe Buffkin, if you're talking about just catch and shoot, the skill set, that skill set you need. He shot over 40% of G. So I'm like, all right. when I start looking in this top 10, again, there's a couple of skill sets you don't necessarily need.
And look at the size. Look at the
yeah,
size as well.
Look at the size as well. Like Caleb Hughes is a big wing. Coloco's 7-footer, like a true 7-footer. And like Caleb Houston's 6'8", Coloco's I think 6'11". So
yeah,
let's just say that. But that's why I'm kind of just like, well, if you did, hypothetically speaking, if you did bring in two guys, would they be break glass in case of emergency guys? Because we mentioned Ben before. It's like if you were to bring in Ben, let's say they had genuine interest in Ben Mathurin, genuine interest, and they was like, we want to bring him in, hypothetically speaking. So it's like, all right, but where would he play and who's not going to play?
No,
like, so that's why it gets a little bit interesting to me. It just gets interesting. Squallow said Christian Coloco is a Clutch client. I heard they'll have a really good relationship with Clutch now. Shout out to them. Say PB might be the odd man out, to be honest. I think PB's the odd man out rotation wise, but you drafted him, you gave him a guaranteed deal. He coming off a solid summer league. My thing is like, why you keep drafting in the second round? Like most guys you draft in the second round almost never make it, but if this is the route you're potentially going, and you're gonna give DeJounte Clutch as well, like, and you're gonna give, you're gonna get all these guys the opportunity to compete. I'm sure Pierre as well. It's like, then why not just not draft Pierre?
Yeah.
So
I don't. That's why I start. This is where I start being like.
Look, shout out to Louisiana. Yeah, she said Buffkin, Coloco, and Houston are better than Cam Thomas on the minimum. I don't care if he is that. Yeah, I don't care.
Plenty of minimum. There's plenty of minimum guys that you could sign today. Dog, Cam Thomas again. Say what you want about Cam Thomas and the inefficiencies. You say what you want. If you brought that dude in, you could, and you started looking through the roster, you'll be like, I can make a case he's probably like the 8th best player on the team.
Bro,
well, like not 8, but you know what I mean? Like he's probably 8 in a rotation or something like that.
And it's like you saw it with Brandon Boston before. It's like, well, once you start getting to like the 10th man and 11th, 12th man, you be like, wait a minute. Like, shout out to Bayou Sniper, Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell might be running out of options. Maybe he would be willing to come join the Pels. It seemed like
Chris Paul said, I'm gonna go sit down.
Yeah, so what are you thinking, bro? Like when you just look at everything as far as like, well, damn, you got 14 people committed already. You got a second round pick you just drafted. You bringing in 3 guys for camp. There's only so many rosters.
Again, it's unless, and I told you before, man, I don't think they're gonna make a move. Like maybe,
like period.
Like I don't really like Ben Mathurin might be like out of options, right? Mm-hmm. So you might end up doing it. But again, if you bring Ben, let's say you do move Hawk and just bring Ben Mathurin in, right? Mm-hmm. And then I don't really count like signing Coloco or one of them is like it's a move, but I don't really look at it as like a move. You know what I mean? That's all as of right now, that's all back at like a lot of those dudes on like their 3rd team in 4 years and 14 and 5, like kind of bounced around the league a little bit and stuff like that. So it's not to say that they can't figure it out, but like when you're starting the season, you're not really putting too much traction on those players right away. And again, even if you do the Hawk for Ben Mathurin, now it's like, now what? You know what I mean? It's always now, like, I want to get to the point where it's like when we signed this. Remember when we traded for DeJounte and it was like, okay, that means Brandon about to get traded for somebody. It's like, always should be the follow-up.
Yeah, to finish the deal. Yeah.
To finish it's like, oh, all right, you're right there. So like, I'm waiting to see if they do make a move, what the second move is. Because I'm just starting to have more doubt that they do anything, because and the reason I'm of that mindset is because again, when you go back to last year and you learn and you supposedly learn from your mistakes, it was a lot they did last year where if you just do nothing, everybody was like, bro, if you would have did nothing, if you didn't extend nobody, if you didn't trade for nobody, if you didn't do anything, you would have been in a better position right now. So I'm just wondering if the overall fear I think they have is, fuck, we might just do better doing nothing. And then next year we'll just be in a better position from a draft aspect, from a free agency standpoint, from a financial standpoint. I just wonder if that's where they're like what they battling against, basically.
I hope not, because I don't think none of that's necessarily true. To shout out to Nando. I say that because we got 77 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Let's get the likes up to 70. I say that mainly because to me the most obvious things are, look, bro, you and I feel like I keep saying this. You need to move on from her, bro. Like again,
if Herb was the only thing that they did. If Herb was the only thing that they did, would you consider this offseason a success?
No, because you ain't have to extend them. Fuck, I mean, no. Well, no, not necessarily, because like, depending on what you got in return for them or what have you, because it just depends on what realistically was on the table. Like, because I don't. Well, shout out to Jay Berg. What's happening with your homie? I don't
Let
even
me ask you this, Chaz. I'm sorry to cut you off. My bad, bro. What's your goal for the season?
I need y'all to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, I need them to make the playoffs. I need them to, and I need them also to trim some salary going into the following off season. Louisiana guys say they battling different opinions and thought processes, but you didn't hear that from me. Hey, we'll keep it a secret. But like, you know,
I can see it.
Because I'm like this, just dealing with the reality of the situation. That's why I keep mentioning, like, man, Caleb Houston is not some proven player. Otherwise, he'd probably be on the roster, right? Yeah. Christian Coloco, he battles some health issues, but he's not necessarily a proven guy. So no one's saying that what those guys do usurp what Herb does or what some of the guys already on the roster does. But what I am saying is, I don't know if Herb is $20 million better than Caleb Houston right now, and you kind of need his skill set a bit more than what you would need from Herb at this juncture. So if you holding out for this magic deal that's coming, that shit might not happen. But you can give yourself more room for error if you go into the season plucking some of these holes paws. Like, so, you know, to me, that's why I would just like to know, all right, you got a bunch of guards and a bunch of wings. You're interested in more wings. Like, because I'm a person who think I would put it at 50% that Trey Murphy doesn't finish the season on this team. I probably would put it at close to 50% that Herb doesn't finish. So I'm like, are you preparing for that? Is that something inevitable to you? Like, what? Because as the roster currently stands, it's like, it seems like you just got some redundancy in some areas, and I can argue that some of your end of the bench guys right now fit better than some of the guys that may be in your top 10. So wouldn't you just want to like remove at least one or two of those guys in the top 10 that like don't necessarily fit and plug that with a cheaper option and maybe get some capital in return? That's why it just seems a little confusing to me.
No, I just, you know what I would like to know also? I would like to know, again, like you say, you want to know the deals. What deals have you turned down for her? That's what I would want to know.
Yeah, that would be a good question, right?
Like, that's like not what deals are you seeking? Because I understand, like, that's a little different. What if somebody truly offered you and turned you down? Because if somebody offered me, for example, if one of the deals on the table for her was like, all right, here, what about Christian Braun? And it's like, he might, even if you say he's a better player from a contract standpoint,
I'm in the same spot pretty much.
It don't really help you. So I'm just saying, like, if people offering me seconds or like just those types of contracts, then it's kind of like, fuck, what do you do? So I'm more so wondering now, like, what is being offered that you're turning down? That's why I like when we had the conversation a couple episodes ago and you were talking about the Strus and a pick. It's like there's no way in the world that you can turn down
if that was to happen. Wow,
yeah, like they can't offer you the expiring and the first for Herb, and you say no. Like it's just so that's kind of where I'm at, because I agree with you as far as like, bro, like Bryce was already giving you, when Bryce kind of got his feet, got his legs under him and kind of got some rhythm. Bryce was already damn near closing games. You know what I mean? Giving you, and I ain't saying Bryce got to play 30 fucking minutes a game, but can he give you 20 to 25? PV give you a couple minutes. Bay give you yeah. So and I hate to say it this way, your season is not going to be dependent upon Bryce's production anyway. Right? Yeah. So like your season not going to be dependent on Herb's production.
Look, if Herb is the reason you going out there and winning and losing, then this shit is over. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, so he can help. All of them can help, but they're not going to be the like make or break reason they why you be. Like win or lose. So I just want to know what y'all saying no to.
The funny thing is, because I hear the argument on the other end sometimes, as far as like, well, it's not Herb's fault they losing. Zion got to step up. And it's like, well, either way we slice it, what you're telling me is that Herb don't really matter. Or that's like
basically what I hear.
Yeah, like with certain guys is like their impact matters a little bit less than others. So if that's the case, then that means they're interchangeable.
They're replaceable.
Yeah, that means they're replaceable. They're interchangeable. Yeah. And I'm just trying to use foresight here, because I don't know that they wouldn't do this because of how the Derek Queen trade happened. It was like, well, if you wouldn't trade 2 firsts for him, why would you ask for 2 firsts? Because I don't think there's probably anyone out there that would give you 2 firsts for him today. Like, because otherwise he'd probably be gone. He'd probably be gone.
You can't, though. You can't.
Like, so that's why I'm kind of like, man.
I'll say the only possibility of getting multiple firsts for her is you go into the season. You can't do it now. You'd have to go into the season and somebody'd have to be hurt and he'd have to be almost incredible. Like who would he have to look like? He'd have to look like a better Lou Dort, Nikhil, maybe.
He gotta look like fucking prime Alex Caruso. He gotta be like on both sides. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like he would have
like, look, we're gonna play. I'm gonna go over some of this Caleb Houston film, and then on the other end of this, we can finish talking about potential roster consolidation. And there was a very interesting Derek Queen workout video that came out today. I want to get your thoughts on this video if you don't mind, but let's check out some of Caleb Houston's work while he was in Orlando. Okay, nice pass out to the corner. Need somebody that can execute from the corner. I need to go look at his percentages from the corner.
Right, he shoots really well from all of them. He just don't have no volume.
He have no volume and very little. Volume. Like he runs really funny. He runs like Sengun to me. See,
tip him.
That's it was funny. Some players you watching, you like, man, you went to Ivy League basketball school.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, nice.
Would you pay somebody $20 million to come off your bench? And Herb don't make $20 million this year. He made 14. Would you pay a $20 million player off the bench?
They would have to be a 6 man of the year candidate. That's why when you bring it up, I'd be like, no. Just because like that's like Deion Sanders, you about to be my my nickel corner. It's like, no, I need you. Like, if I'm paying you money like that and you coming off the bench, like, you got to be some kind of microwave scorer, because if all you're gonna provide is just defense, I can just get a guy off the street to defend hard.
You could be Najee.
Yeah, you could be Najee. Like Matisse Thybulle.
Najee get buckets too, though.
Yeah, Najee get some buckets too. Matisse Thybulle just got signed to the Lakers, right? Matisse Thybulle had an awesome shooting year last season. Just known as a terror defensively. And I'm like, well, if a guy like that making a minimum, you would have to tell me what's 20 divided by fucking 3, like 5, 6. Like you would have to tell me that he's about 5 or 6 times better than Matisse Thybulle. But see, that's the thing, Mike. Shout out to Mike. But
Caruso getting 30 in the playoffs.
Caruso, prior to this extension, he got with OKC, was making $8 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was making $8 million. And he was already a 2-time all defense guy and a champion. This is the first and last time he ever gonna get paid, right?
Yeah.
And since he got that money, he's another champion, and he was in the Western Conference Finals, dropping 30 plus, 20 plus.
Yeah, me guy.
Where that ultimately happens with Herb. So that's why I'm like, what's the holdout for? Like, are you like, in theory, you would have to tell me, and they ain't got to tell me shit, but I'm saying a person would have to tell me that you think that during the season, there's a player who's at least as good as Sabonis or better that would be available for Herb Jones an additional salary. Because in my mind, I'm like, you probably could get Sabonis right now. Like for that, maybe, who knows? Maybe you couldn't. You probably get Sabonis for like Herb and some salary right now in a pick. Like maybe you couldn't though. Maybe you couldn't. That's why
I wonder what the cost is for Sabonis right now, because everything sounds like it sounds like they're giving him over, but like I don't want to give up a first for Sabonis right now either.
To me, any deal, and shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 50 likes. We got 70 plus people in the chat. Let's get the likes up to 70. To me, I'm also paying to get off of that contract.
Herb.
Yeah. I'm like, and that's why it become like a bit of an issue, because it is tough when you consistently correcting mistakes.
Yeah. And we sitting there back and forth. We back and forth about it right now.
No, I would do it. Like if they called me today, bro, and was like, yo, we'll do Herb and DeJounte right now for Sabonis. Just give us a first. I'm like, fucking right. Like let's do it.
Would it be an unprotected first?
Hey,
you do.
I don't know. I probably would do like top 5 protected, top 8 protected, because it's like, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Here we talking about a combined 50 million next year when I already got players on the roster that's going to usurp those guys, and I'm drafted another player next year. So even if the money wasn't a problem, I still need roster spots. You know what I'm saying? I still need roster spots.
That's the thing there, yeah.
Because look, even going into next season, bro, and that's why I think foresight is so important, because even if we look at that next season, that's 11 roster spots accounted for. Let's say you add in
a draft pick,
Sadiq Bey, that'll be 12 roster spots, right? That's 12. So, and Zion, they don't even got Zion. No, Zion is on here. I'm about to say they didn't even have him for the team option. So that's 12 roster spots right there once I add Sadiq Bey. And I still got all the same problems that I had going into last offseason. So, but if I could free up this money right here, that's a lot of money. If I could free up this 51 mil right here, I could be cooking with gas. Even if I did take on Sabonis' contract, by then he's an expiring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Herb's contract is going to be trending upward. So I don't know. I don't know. To me, you would have to tell me you got the utmost belief in
if it's Herb. Like I ain't gonna lie, if it's like a 2032, 2031 kind of pick, you can have that bitch. I ain't gonna lie, you could have it then, because your team within the next 3-4 years is about to be whatever it's gonna be anyway. In my opinion, because I personally look at it again. You've already stated for the most part that like Joe Dumars, they're not going to be here 7-8 years trying to do some fucking rebuild. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you had last year. It's this year and next year that you really got to turn this roster into whatever it is you're trying to turn it into.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I ain't worried about no 2030. 31 pick If you know what I mean? If it allows me the flexibility to say, okay, you add Sabonis right now, you clear up salary, I can do whatever I want to do with Poole. You could bring in Matt. You actually create.
A roster spot.
If you create a roster spot, I think you create more salary as well. If I'm not mistaken.
You don't create more salary if you do that deal. Well, it might be like close to maybe 1 million. Maybe
he makes they combine make Sabonis money.
I think Sabonis makes 46, if I'm not mistaken. So them two together is roughly around 46, maybe 47 at the most.
DeJounte make 32, huh?
Yeah, so it'll break.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's even.
Yeah, in fact, DeMontis make 45. Now I don't know if he has a trade kicker or not, but you might clear a few 100,000, and you can still do whatever you was gonna do with Jordan Hawkins. But
yeah,
Nando, he said, I think Trey Young, a new coach, forgot he was on the team. I'm dead serious. Tells me he hasn't been talked about much or seen with the coaching staff. I could believe that. I could believe that. But my thing would be, it's a double sorted thing, right? Because on one end, if you're like, well, you haven't made any improvements, I'm out of here, right? And on the other end, it's kind of like, well, I haven't had a good time here. I just want to go just off GP, you know what I'm saying, before this ultimately becomes a public issue. So it's two ways to look at it. Well, I can't be mad at either side. I can't be mad at the Pelicans for being like, well, dude, we paid you. You're supposed to be part of the solution.
Yeah, your production and impact matters specifically.
Your production is supposed to be a part of the solution. And on the other hand, I can see a player saying, well, look, I don't really see no pathway for us improving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you haven't given me reason to think we're going to improve. You know, my name and trades. I haven't had a good time even prior to y'all being here. I kind of want out. And then in that scenario, you kind of like, well, I don't think no great offers was out there for him like that anyway. So would you like? I'd have been mad if they would have been like, all right, well, fuck it. He wants out. We're gonna trade him for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah,
but it's like going into the season, it's like, damn, who do you think is better that ultimately becomes available? And is the best deal still there? Like, or do you feel like, well, shit, I could have got whatever I was going to get this offseason during the season. Maybe a player doesn't fit. Maybe they become available. I don't know who that player could potentially be. But
I'll wait and see, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'll wait and see, because again, the season brings about so many things you never know. Again, Trae Young wasn't available during this off season and was available during the season. Luka Doncic got traded in the season. It's plenty of players you see move during the season and you're just like, whoa, I you know what I mean? Players ask out, players get injured, players come back, people get mad. Like, you just, some people assign their money, and then as soon as they become available, they get moved.
What was good, Joe?
Teams that we didn't think would be good, go on to be good and be like, man, fuck it, we going all in. And you just never know who might be.
And look, that's another thing too. It's like, well, if you plan on trade during the season, you still gonna need some roster spots, because 9 times out of 10, you're looking at taking back multiple players in that trade, or maybe you're trading him for a player who makes more money. I don't know who that could be potentially, but this is all hypothetical, right? Yeah. To me, that's why I do think the roster crunch is the biggest issue. To Nando's question, I don't think an injury to him really makes a difference, unless it's just like a Achilles, a ACL. I don't think an injury to him really makes much of a difference, truthfully, because he's the player who he's going to be at this point anyway, But yeah, so what did you? But what did you make of the footage that came out today with Derrick Queen and DeAndre Jordan, shared by the homie Cullen?
Shout out to Cullen for putting it out. I know DeAndre had it on his Instagram. I don't overthink the off-season workouts, to be honest. It's good to see them together, connected. I saw he was still looking for Fizz. You got 2 months to the season rolling around, though. That's all I care about, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, regardless of whatever anybody made of the offseason, if you put in work before or you start now, I don't give a fuck. When the season comes and it's time to play basketball,
You gotta be good.
You better be like, if I didn't see you killing it in the off season, which is fine because like, for example, Herb Jones don't never show what he doing in the off season, right?
Whoa, what up, bro? He clearly ain't doing much.
So plenty of people don't show their off season work, right? And it leaves you to like Hawkins, for example. We say Hawkins had never gotten stronger. You don't really see Hawkins do much off-season work and nothing like that either. But when the season coming, you don't perform. People like, what the fuck you been doing?
Doing in the off-season.
Yeah, what you doing in the off-season?
So when you see, one second, man, we got 8 people in the building. We only got 50 likes. Hit the like button, man. Let's get up to 75 likes. Go ahead, L.
Nah, you good. So when you see play, like you see Fears working constantly throughout the offseason.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't have a good season or whatever, you still kind of give him benefit of the doubt. You'd be like, look, he just didn't have a good season. We saw him putting in the work or whatever. If we're not consistently seeing you, I don't care, dog. When the time comes in October, you better be cold. You better be cold, or you better do whatever it is they expecting you to do. I ain't saying you got to be great, but
shout out to Fist. I think the rumor is Brad Bill's supposed to be going Miami, Miami. I think that's the rumor. He probably put that rumor out himself. like nigga, well, we could have been to that. That was gonna happen. Like, why would we wait on that? You a vet men guy. We could have been to that.
Ooh. My bad, dog. I'm on a cleanse right now, boy. This been whipping my ass.
Shout out to Bayou Snipers. They DQ and DeAndre off-season posts are just tongue-in-cheek fun. Don't read too much into either of them. Louisiana, I guess that dude got to be great. I don't care. Look, I ain't gonna lie. As this continues to go on,
that's how you feel?
My patience with the situation is starting to run thin. And it's not because of Derek. Derek could be anybody in this scenario. But I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about us still being here at this juncture. Like, still being in get ready mode at this juncture. Whereas, like, certain players look like they could play today.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And this is kind of like, it had some shit that came out early in the off season, whatever. Like, people gonna have fun, enjoy their money. It is what it is. Who cares, right? But now the fact that we still here, like the fact, like to me, I don't find the DeAndre Jordan shit cute or nothing like that. Like for us, he getting the rookies. I don't care about none of that. Give a fuck about none. Cause like you say, nigga can try their best to do like, hey, wake up, guys, morning calls. Hey,
boy.
Like, look, Slime. Look, check this out.
Yeah,
the time for that was months ago. Right? That was months ago. We can't still be here and we can't still be in boot camp time as we motherfucker about to report to the building in a few days. Why is we let's hurry up. What you put down? You put down C? All right, I'm about to put C too. No. Motherfucker need to be ready when that ball go up in the air when y'all report to training, mini camp, whatever the case is. It's too many questions surrounding the roster right now for us. Like, look, we had our off season to play these games. Had all off season for y'all to hang out and do whatever y'all was gonna do. I don't need to see it now. I need to see motherfuckers playing some basketball now because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. I'm very interested if they about to meet up, for the little mini camp or whatever. If they release clips from like basketball clips from said camp. You know what I mean? Playing fives or whatever the case. I wonder if they putting out actual run game footage so you could get a better idea, because let's say that run comes and he looks okay or looks good. Like, would that settle you down a little bit, or that shit still don't matter?
I gotta see you in live action against some competition, because that's like I remember a couple of years ago they used to always talk about Oh man, this person was. Oh, he told Brandon. Shout out to Brandon. He was dominating camp. I'm like, you playing against some niggas that suck? Like, like, okay. Like, can we get some dominance against some top level competition around this bitch? So that's why I'm kind of like, look, all that shit sounds sharp, but like after the Zion thing, and again, it's not an indictment on Derek. This could be anybody. After the Zion thing, I don't have the same amount of patience that I used to have for a motherfucker that's kind of like, all right, well, you're gonna have to get in shape. And then, once we get him in shape, X, Y, Z, it's like, no. Because I don't even know if you're good. Like, that's the thing. At least with Zion, I'm like, he's good.
He's cool. Yeah, he's cool. That's basically where I'm at. It's like
I remember that Jackson Hayes was just killing motherfuckers at one year. Jackson Hayes was phenomenal.
That's very true. Nah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like you just gotta be good when it like preseason and then these games. You got. I don't. That's why I said like the season is 2 months away, right? If you gonna come to the season fat, like Zion used to come to the season fat, and you could tell he wasn't like great version of Zion, but he was still giving you 25 or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. You come to the season however you want, bro. You just better be able to produce whatever we need from you to produce. That's where I'm at. I'm all about holding people accountable for wherever we are right now. And he's still a young player. Don't get me wrong. Like he's still a very young player. But with the things that are going against him naturally, as far as like fit with the roster, just overall not really athletic to a degree, you have to start early and overcoming those challenges. So the sooner the better for him.
Shout out to Uptown Kid. I don't really care about last season. I thought he showed up and did what he could, like to say he didn't have a training camp, he didn't really have a summer league. When the season rolled around, he showed up and did the best he could. So I ain't really tripping on that. I'm just talking about this off season because I didn't see enough last season to give him the benefit of the doubt, or Troy the benefit of the doubt with the pick. And that's really my issue, because when I talk about guys who have skill sets that you don't necessarily need, to me, Derek falls under that umbrella. Him and Herb and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, I'd rather have X, Y, and Z, or I'd rather have my two motherfucking firsts that you set on fire that I could have done.
The two first probably change your roster right now.
Yeah, like imagine you got two first. Like, let's just say you did want Peyton Watson. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here, take this here, man. Fuck it, we rolling the dice.
Yeah,
and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like certain shit, it's a domino effect. But I do hope he has a great season. I just, I don't like the amount of pressure that's on him due to the trade. He didn't trade for himself, but it's still like, man, we here now. Like the baby been born now. I need you to be excellent.
100%.
Excellent. So we're gonna get to the. I'm sorry, you about to say something?
No, I 100% agree with you. It's just is he under the most pressure on the roster, you think? That's crazy for a second year player, but do you think so?
I don't think he's under the most pressure necessarily. I do think how he performs could lead to Troy Weaver no longer being here though, because I'm gonna keep it real. If he go out there and he have a season kind of like last season, I'm gonna want Troy Weaver fired.
Yeah,
I'm gonna want Troy Weaver out of here. I'm just keeping it $1. And now if he go up and have a great season, I'm like, oh, cool. Like that's what's up with him. I think it's just tough for me to put that type of pressure on the second year guy. But I think he's the player that could most likely find himself out of the rotation.
Oof.
So that's if you want to count that as pressure, I would say that's
definitely pressure.
But to me, that's more of an indictment just on play style versus him individually.
I agree. Like this you're gonna be insane, bro. That's all I keep coming back. That's all I keep coming back to.
And shout out to the homie Bayou Snipe, and make sure y'all go tap in with his show Flight Pad. If he was just a 13 pick, I wouldn't give a fuck. Honestly, I'd be like, man, whatever he do, we here. You got players that's like better, well, not better, but you got players that got drafted 10th that ain't doing shit. So I absolutely would not hold that against Derek if he was a 13 pick and it took him a little time out of the gates. That to me, that's not the thing at all. The greater issue to me is that you traded pick 8 and whatever the other pick could have been, and you traded whatever you could have done with those picks. Not Fleming and whoever else the fuck. The players to me don't matter. Whoa, what up, Illuminati? You traded whatever else the value of those picks. You trade whatever else you could have done with those picks. So that's the greatest issue. Because again, nobody gonna want to hear my bad. Like even the most understanding motherfucker ain't gonna want to hear my bad. So I think we got to start consolidating and figuring out what we're about to do moving forward. We're gonna get to the start. Go ahead, Al.
This year is the most important. Like this year, I don't think I'm trying to remember if I can recall a year that felt as important as this year for Pelicans basketball.
It's like potentially. I could see that.
It just feels like all of the first 3 Willie Green seasons were like upside seasons. You know what I mean? Like the team got better. You had optimism. Everybody got hurt. Like even when Anthony Davis, you was like, well, fuck it. Look, we probably the Zion. We got a draft pick. It's the Zion draft. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just a bunch of ways you could look at it. This particular season feels like, if y'all not good, bro, you could be bad for a long time. You could really fuck this up and be bad for a really long time. That's how it feels.
Yeah. And like, I know people don't like Bill Simmons and what he said, but I'm like, well, I don't know. It's a medium there, but we're gonna run this quick little commercial break, and then we're gonna get to the star questions on the other end, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
If she wants to be a porn star, based on what I saw in that video,
maybe she retired.
I don't think she's gonna make a lot of money. Based on what I saw in that video, I don't think she's gonna be at a top tier status. That's a damn shame what I saw in that video. That's sickness.
Shout out to brother Cornell. Hey, yo, whoa, what's that with my dog Trey? What's the deal, bro? What is the deal? Yo, I'm hoping we make a move. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopeful. I do think we gotta do some roster consolidation though. So I want to just go through these super chats. The dog Michael Morgan in the building. He said one more big in case Misi goes down. They have to get a backup for him. I think that's what you looking at. Koloko. That's why I would kind of say out of those 3, I think Koloko has the best chance to make it.
Yeah, I think so. I like Kobe Buffkin and what he showed in the summer and whatnot. And I like Kobe Buffkin, but I think from a more practical use, you know what I mean? It's probably Koloko.
Yeah, it's funny. I really want to see Kobe make it, though. I
like his game, dog. I like his game.
Cause I just like the idea of like a brother like was overcoming adversity, and just overcoming the adversity and just battling through the injury and getting to the other side of it. That's why I kind of just wanted to see it work out, but we'll see, man. We will see.
Yeah, and then I go back to, you see players like him around this portion of their careers, kind of start to figure it out a little bit too. Right. So it's kind of like, I would love for us to have that version of that player. Like, man, that dude got to New Orleans and like turned his career into something.
You know, and one thing I did heard Joe say before, it's not always getting the guy. Sometimes it's when you get them. Like, where are they mentally? Where are they at this stage in their career? Drew said, can we get Jalen Duren? I don't think they would have interest in Jalen Duren unless it was for like a dirt cheap like thing. And I think the longer this drags out in Detroit, I think the cheaper they're going to want to trade for him. But anybody would want to trade for him at this stage. I think it's just
shit don't look good at all.
That shit look ugly. I ain't gonna hold you. Brian Ross say Jordan Poole buyout.
Nah, absolutely not. 100% not. Jordan Poole make $34 million, bro. That shit ain't getting bought out at all.
Yeah, I don't see
it.
It was against the cap too, if I'm not mistaken. It's really no benefit to doing that.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
Yeah. I don't think I see it.
Nah.
Cullen said, does Mathurin want to come to New Orleans, and do y'all see anyone moved soon out of nowhere? I think he just wants to go to the most amenable situation. I think New Orleans kind of checks that box for him because, like I said, you play in New Orleans 9 times out of 10, you get paid the next off season because you get opportunity to put some numbers up.
If I was him, I want Herb out here. To be honest,
it's like
if I'm him, I'm like, man, look, like. Fucking dude, like I need somewhere to go play. Like I
need some minutes. What y'all doing?
Yeah, what y'all? What's going on? So even if they had the deals in place to offer me the money, it's like why would I come there and then what I'm gonna go ride the bench again? Like at least in LA, I already knew I was getting almost 30 minutes a game.
Yeah. I don't know, son. It is. I don't know because even with him, it's like. You can't even pitch him on, well, you could be a part of a winning situation. Like, been there, done that. What's up with my minutes? I need money. I'm doing bad. Shout out to Ben Mathurin, though. Lonnie, what's had the homies? I think the reason Joe doesn't want to waive and stretch Hawkins is because that's admitting that the team shouldn't have extended him. It's a trade. It's kind of like we didn't make a mistake. Well, I don't think it necessarily was a problem extending them because you need salary. You extending them for salary matching purposes. You probably just should have waited and saw how he performed first. Kind of the same thing with Herb. Like you probably just should have waited at least to mid-season to see like, yo, is you balling right now? No, you're not. Oh, boy, we're gonna go ahead and kick the can on this one. So I think they just did everything too early. They overplayed and overpaid in every scenario last offseason, with the exception of the pool trade, the pool trade, because I ain't even gonna bring this person up.
They came in this bitch guns blazing for sure.
Yeah, hit a lot of innocent bystanders though. That's you come in with that pistol, you gotta get your man. Like shout out to Saints Pelicans. He said Ben might take the qualifying off for the Clippers to be free next year. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Because if you Ben, I can get what I get next year. This year, next year, like fuck, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I go up. Well, I would say have my choices, but
yeah.
I mean, you have more of a choice, I guess.
Bayou Snipers and Chad, I remember you looking at our books for next offseason. You saying it looks pretty clean. What would be in the free agency class you like to get? I don't think free agency gonna really be a factor for them. I think any acquisition. I think the situation for them that would be most beneficial is that they could take back uneven trades because they'll be so far away from the luxury tax. Like you could just, like hypothetically speaking, let's say if Minnesota is finally like, man, we about to get rid of Rudy. Oh, we about to get rid of this person. Give us this.
I can see that being a thing next year.
Yeah, and could they already got
Behringer, if he starts to come along and they figure out that forward position, save some money, go trade Rudy in the space. Man, I can see that.
Boy, that'd be tough. If they lose, if you trade Rudy, it better work. I'll tell you that. Because shout out to Shaq Dilla. You trade Rudy, boy.
Rudy been great since he got done.
Yeah, absolutely. Bostonville Sniper say, will we be better with Malawak over Queen right now? I don't really like him, Malawak.
Malawak, he had a good summer, but again, Malawak haven't shown anything like when the games count. So like as of right now, you gotta say Derek Queen, in my opinion, even for what you feel about the only questions you really have about Queen is because of what they gave up
to get him,
to acquire him. But if you was just talking player for player, like Malawak hadn't done anything right now.
Yeah, Malawak ain't really showing anything in the regular season just yet. Yeah, like I totally agree with Alvin. It's about the acquisition cost with DQ, like versus anything else. Cullen said, what would y'all want a package to look like for Trey? To me, I want a promising young player and some first.
Yeah. Give me
maybe
again. I need Ace Filipowski. I'd be willing to consider Trey Johnson and somebody off that Wizards team.
Would you do Trey Johnson and Sarr?
Fucking right.
Okay.
But they better not give up Sarr for if they offered Sarr and Trey Johnson for Trey Murphy right now, he'd be in Washington.
Huh.
If it's I'm sorry,
man.
They better not. Alex saw 7 feet, ain't he?
Yeah, I just in both of them scenarios though. I keep coming back to what I'm gonna do with Derek. Like Derek,
I don't care at that point. I
still kind of care because I'm like, wait a minute.
Not that I don't care.
Picks.
Not that I don't care, but
Right.
like if I got Saw and if I got Saw, it even makes playing Derek. I think Saw a 5. I mean, he been playing the 5.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna have to play some 5 with Anthony
yeah,
Davis.
but if I got Saw, it makes playing Derek that much easier, to be honest, because Saw shoots.
I don't think that's enough to save Derek. I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying like it allow like again, like the thought was if I got Khalil Ware right now, I think he shoots enough threes to where I could play Derek at the 4 and it'd be like, all right, we got some shooting and some rebounding at the 5 at least. So they better not send me Trey Johnson and Alex.
Boy,
I do it. The number 2 pick in the draft, and then the former number 6 pick in the draft. That's good return.
I just wish they didn't do that trade, dog. I really did, because it's just so many. Oh my God. Uptown Kid, so you think DeAndre Jordan would have taken the same contract to be a coach instead of a player? Free spot taken up? No. He wanted to reach his 20 years playing in the league. There's a lot of benefits that come with playing 20 years, almost like retiring from the military. So I don't think he would have. Every team has a guy like that on the roster. Also, every team has a guy like that on the roster. So that's another thing.
Garrett Temple played plenty of time. Like
Garrett Temple probably could run for president. He got so many relationships and like everybody like him. That's what's up. Wasif say, are you on the Poole for Turner train? No, because I still don't understand that. Because even if I get Turner, I'm still gonna be in a situation where I'm like, well, I really wish I had somebody that could rebound the basketball. Like, because Turner only averaged like 4 to 6 rebounds. Turner don't rebound the ball. To me, that's why like and Poole just falls off the books next year. So I'd rather just have that flexibility versus
I personally still like Poole game anyway, and so I like Poole. Like I just like Poole the player.
I would need a version of Miles Turner that we just never saw before, and that's I don't like keep hoping for shit. Like it's too many hopes. Like I hope this work out. I hope this guy figures it out. I hope this. That's a lot of motherfucking hope.
Yeah.
And JD Walker 32 says JD Walker. Shout out to Glenn Turman and JD Walker from JD's Revenge. He say Trey Murphy for Scoot Henderson and Robert Williams, 1 pick and 1 swap. Boy, I feel so disrespected with that offer. I feel greatly disrespected. Robert Williams,
I need at least shading. I need a minimum of shading in that deal to consider Trey.
I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it with Portland. It would be my preference not to trade with nobody in the West, but still, I need way more than that. I need, and I'm not no big shading fan no more. I need shading in the deal just off GP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I need about 3 firsts.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it, and I still like Scoop, but I couldn't do it.
When you start talking about trade deals, though, it's like it's just not many deals.
And shout out to Paperboy. Paperboy, this would be the last question. We appreciate everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. He said, with Fierce, Trey, Zion, Bay, Meesey, then Poole, DeJounte, Queen, 23 minutes off the bench work.
You go make it work.
Yeah, I'm about to say you have to make it work.
Make it work.
I mean, DeJounte say he open to coming off the bench, bro. So with DeJounte volunteering to come off the bench, at least he's showing some commitment to being, sacrificial, a team player in that situation. But I don't know. I think it'll get to a point where there's some egos involved. That's a lot to ask for, like Queen and DeJounte both to come off the bench.
Oh boy, you better have a fucking riot in the
boy. Yeah, that's a lot to ask. So it'll be interesting though. But shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
As always, man, you can catch me at Pels in the Blender on YouTube. Appreciate everybody that subscribed, man. We finally got to that 500. Let's keep growing the channel. And also, y'all catch me at Just Say Davis on X. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, indeed, man. Look, and I'm a fan of what they're doing with Chris Coloco, Caleb Houston, Kobe Buffkin. I just wish we had 1 or 2 more roster spots because I feel like each of those guys could benefit what they're trying to do long term, or even well, I'll just say this upcoming season. It just feels like there's a bit of a Pelicans roster crunch and log jam along the perimeter, and I don't think all of those guys necessarily help you. But this is Cheddar Chaz, man. Tapping women Instagram at Cheddar Chaz, Twitter, what have you. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, man. We'll if anything happens, we will tap back in. There's a new membership episode that just got uploaded. So make sure y'all tap in with that. And with that being said, we out. Peace.